Good morning, students. In the last class, we have discussed about 10% law of energy transfer, how energy gets decreased as the trophic levels increased. That we have discussed. But in opposite to it, one particular thing is going to increase with the increase in trophic levels of the food chain, about which we will discuss now. Some harmful chemicals unknowingly enter our bodies through food chain. We eat so many types of food. Vegetarian food, non-vegetarian food. But without our knowledge, some harmful chemicals enter our bodies. These chemicals actually they came to our level through food chain. How are these chemicals entering the food chain? Let us see. Many chemicals are added to the soil and water bodies in the form of pesticides and fertilizers. Because we use pesticides, fertilizers and other chemicals to protect the crops from various pests and to make them grow better for better yields. Okay. So we add many chemicals like fertilizers and pesticides to protect the crops from various pests and to make the crops to grow better for better yields. We generally apply these fertilizers and pesticides in the form of spray or in the form of granules, etc. When irrigation is carried out or when some rain takes place, these chemicals that are applied onto the crops will be washed down and from the crops they will be added to the soil or nearby water bodies. As the chemicals are added to the soil and water bodies, these chemicals are absorbed by the plants from the soil along with water and minerals, and chemicals from the water bodies are taken up by aquatic plants and animals. Through plants and aquatic animals and plants, chemicals enter in the food chain. These chemicals are not that easily degraded as they are not degradable. If something is degradable, then only it will be getting degraded. If it is not degradable, it cannot be degraded. So these chemicals are not degradable. So they are not that easily degraded. So what will happen? So these chemicals get accumulated progressively at each trophic level. Means first herbivores eat the plants. In plants the chemicals are not degraded, na? So entire chemical is transferred to what? Herbivore. Why? Plant body did not use that chemical. Because chemicals are not going to take the structural constituents of body parts of the plant. So they are simply present. When the plant is eaten, entire chemical is taken up, not like 10%. So from many plants, herbivore eat the plant products. So from different plants, different concentrations of chemical is added to herbivore. Right? And herbivore is getting excessive concentration of this chemical. And when this herbivore is eaten up by the carnivore or omnivore or the persons like humans, then what will happen? From different herbivores, as one person is not going to eat only one animal in the lifetime, the person may eat different animals in the lifetime. So all the chemicals that are present in all different animals, they enter in the human body. So progressively, at each trophic level, the concentration of chemical is increasing. Human beings occupy the top trophic level in any given food chain. Human beings occupy the top trophic level in any given food chain. So the maximum concentration of chemicals get accumulated in the bodies of humans. As humans occupy the top trophic level in any given food chain, the maximum concentration of chemicals get accumulated in the bodies of humans. So this process is known as biomagnification. What is biomagnification? The progressive increase in the concentration of chemicals. The progressive increase in the concentration of chemicals in the bodies of organisms with the increase in the trophic level of food chains is known as biomagnification. So biomagnification process results in the accumulation of many chemicals in higher concentration in the humans. Biomagnification process results in the accumulation of many chemicals in their higher concentration in the humans. Our food grains like wheat, rice and vegetables and fruits, they contain various amount of pesticide residues. We all know it. Our food grains like wheat, rice and vegetables and even fruits also, they contain various amount of pesticide residues. As many animals eat all of these type of vegetables and fruits, their meat also contains varying amounts of pesticide residues. How the animal meat is going to contain varying amount of pesticide residues? Because animals eat the fruits and vegetables which contain pesticide residues. And by eating those pesticide residues containing fruits and vegetables, animal body also get varying amount of pesticide residues. These pesticide residues cannot be removed by washing processes. So when we eat the wheat, rice, maize like pesticide residues containing grains, or the meat that is containing pesticide residues, we also get these pesticide residues accumulated in our body. Right. Human activities, they cause many problems to our environment. Example of such problematic things to the environment are depletion of the ozone layer and waste disposal. Okay. Let us discuss about ozone layer followed by waste disposal. We all breathe in air in order to get oxygen. Oxygen, what we refer is molecular oxygen or diatomic oxygen. In that two oxygen atoms are present. This oxygen molecule is very essential for the survival of all aerobic living organisms. Aerobic living organisms means the organisms that use molecular oxygen in their cellular respiration are known as aerobic organisms. So oxygen molecule is very essential for the survival of all aerobic living organisms. And what is the difference between oxygen and ozone? Oxygen is diatomic. Oxygen is diatomic form, whereas ozone is triatomic form. And what are the atoms that are going to present in oxygen molecule and ozone? In oxygen molecule, oxygen atoms are present. In ozone also oxygen atoms are present. But what is the difference between molecular oxygen or oxygen molecule and ozone? In molecular oxygen or oxygen molecule, 2 oxygen atoms are present, whereas in ozone, 3 oxygen atoms are present. By having 2 oxygen atoms, the molecular oxygen is making the organisms to be alive, whereas by having 3 oxygen atoms, ozone, it is becoming a deadly poisonous thing, right? Okay, so ozone is a deadly poison. Luckily, it is not stable in our atmosphere, so it is present in the stratosphere. So we all are safe. If it would have been stable in our atmosphere and if ozone would have present, okay, in our atmosphere, then all of us would have become absent, right? Okay. Ozone layer is present in the stratosphere. When UV radiation acts on oxygen, that is molecular oxygen, ozone is formed. See, ozone layer is present in the stratosphere. UV radiation, when it acts on molecular oxygen, ozone is formed. How? Right. Higher energy of UV radiation causes splitting of molecular oxygen into free oxygen atoms, 2 free oxygen atoms. Higher energy of UV radiation splits molecular oxygen into free oxygen atoms. These free oxygen atoms, they combine with molecular oxygen. Means entire molecular oxygen is not going to get split up by the UV. Some molecular oxygen will get split up by the UV. And these split oxygen atoms, okay, they combine with the unsplit molecular oxygen and they form ozone. And how this ozone is going to help us and what is making the ozone to get depleted, followed by disposal of waste, everything we will discuss in the next class. Thank you.